So the Premier League season is finally over, and today what I thought I'd do is give my predictions for all the fixtures kicking off at the same time. I'm going to tell you who I think will stay up and who I think will go down, and if Aston Villa can make the Conference League spot with Unai Emery. So for the first game, Arsenal versus Wolves at the Emirates. Both teams have nothing to play for. Obviously, Arsenal, my team, bottled the title in a absolute shambolic way, let's be honest. Wolverhampton Wanderers safe from relegation. That was done a while ago. So both teams having nothing to play for. Arsenal at home always score loads of goals in the last game of the season. We saw that with the game against Everton at the Emirates after we lost 2-0 to Newcastle last season. So for that case, I'm going to go with Arsenal 4, Wolves 1. I will also put my predicted lineup on what I think, what I want to see on screen. So you should all see that right now. Now, the next game, Aston Villa against Brighton at Villa Park. Now, Brighton, we saw a couple of days ago, confirmed their Europa League spot, drawing to Man City. Aston Villa still fighting for that Conference League spot, and remember they drew 1-1 with Liverpool. So, with that case, I'm going to go with a 3-1 Aston Villa win. I think they will get that Conference League spot, and in my opinion, they're favourites to win it next season. You know, Unai Emery in a European competition is different. We saw with Villarreal how he got them to beat Arsenal and Man United on the way to winning it. And, you know, winning 3 Europa Leagues with Sevilla 3 in a row. Obviously, he got Arsenal to one final. Less said about that, the better, let's be honest. So I'm going to go with a Aston Villa 3, Brighton 1. Brentford versus Manchester City. Both teams have not much to play for. Man City obviously have one eye on the FA Cup final coming up and later on the Champions League final. So for that reason, I think this will be a 1-1 draw. Obviously, Brentford have no Ivan Toney for quite some time now. Chelsea versus Newcastle. Newcastle recently confirming their spot in the Champions League. Chelsea, lurking in mid-table, have nothing to play for. So I'm going to go with Chelsea 0, Newcastle United 2. Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest confirming their safety after beating Arsenal 1-0 at the City Ground. Crystal Palace at home have nothing to play for again, like most teams, let's be honest, in this match day, have nothing to play for apart from the teams at the bottom and Aston Villa trying to get the Conference League spot. So in that case, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Nottingham Forest away from home aren't the best team in the league, let's be honest. They've got a really poor away record. I think they've only beaten Southampton, who are bottom of the league right now, and that's it. So that is my prediction for the Crystal Palace versus Forest game. Now I'm going to whiz through the other games because I want to get to the relegation battle, which is the key highlight in this match day. I'm going to start off with Man United versus Fulham. Man United's last game being at home, they just beat Chelsea 4-1 last night at the time of recording this. Defensively, they could have been a bit better, but at the same time, they could have scored about 7 or 8 if they took their chances. So I'm going to go with a Man United 3, Fulham 1. And the last game before we move on to the relegation battle, Southampton against Liverpool at St Mary's. Obviously, Southampton being relegated on a very low 24 points, I believe. Liverpool cannot get Champions League football anymore after Man United won last night. I'm going to go with a Southampton 0, Liverpool 3. Now for the relegation fixtures, starting off with Everton against Bournemouth. Now, Everton need to win if Everton win, they're safe, because I think they're on the highest amount of points out of the 3 teams that are fighting for the last relegation spots. You know, they're currently sitting on 33 points. So if they were to beat Bournemouth, they would be safe, and Leicester and Leeds will end up going down. Obviously, if they don't win, Leicester or Leeds will have an outside chance, but that'll be depending on what happens between the 2 games that they have to play. But I'm going to go with Everton 2, Bournemouth 0, and I think Everton will be staying up. Now moving on to Leeds United against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Leeds have to win, but have to rely on Everton dropping points as well, which personally I don't think will happen. I think Tottenham on the beach, they've got nothing to play for, but maybe have an outside chance of getting a Europa Conference League spot, which, let's be honest, they won't take seriously anyway. And Leeds United at home, they have to win, you know, so the pressure will be on them. And I'm going to go with a Leeds United 2, Tottenham 2, and I think they will be going down to the Championship. And the last game, Leicester City against West Ham. Obviously, West Ham in good morale. They just qualified for the Conference League final. They'll be playing Fiorentina, I believe. And Leicester have had a terrible season. You know, if you think about what they've done while in the Premier League, winning the title in 2016, winning the FA Cup in 2021, you know, their manager Brendan Rodgers has done some good things, but obviously this season, you know what's happened, but they've just not been at it. You know, they lost a key player in Kasper Schmeichel, I believe, and replaced him in one of the worst goalkeepers I've seen in the league in my lifetime. So with that, I'm gonna go with a Leicester nil, West Ham 1, and Leicester will be going down to the Championship. So that is it for my Premier League predictions, and I know this was a bit of a probably rush video as there was only one game week left of the season. From next season, I will be doing a lot more uploads and possibly some like transfer rumour videos that end up coming during the summer, and also some post-match reactions. Like, there's a big result with two teams, I will be on that straight away, and I'll be doing some post-match reactions, for the Arsenal game, which I'll have dropped by Monday, hopefully. So if you did enjoy this video, please give that a like, and also consider subscribing. I will be trying my best to push more content out, and hopefully let this channel grow into something big. So yeah, thanks for watching. In a bit.